According to the ASPCA website, about each year 670,000 dogs are euthanized. This is due to overcrowdedness at the shelters. When someone drops a dog off at an animal shelter, they only have a mere 72 hours to make an impression on a family. If those 72 hours are up and no one is interested in the dog, they will have to be put down. This is due to two reasons. The first reason being the shelter is overcrowded, and the second reason being the shelter may not have enough or the correct resources to care for the dog. The issue at hand is more dogs need to be adopted. If more dogs are adopted, this will help stop the problem of overcrowdedness in the shelters, as well as save the lives of many dogs from eventually being euthanized. Some people may be afraid to adopt a dog from a shelter due to many misconceptions. Sometimes people think that the dogs are unhealthy in the shelters. This is untrue. The workers at the shelter do their best to keep the dogs in the healthiest conditions possible. Most times, the dogs in the shelter are actually healthier than those that people see at the pet shop. Some people also think that all dogs brought into the shelter were abused. This is also untrue. Most times people drop a dog off at the shelter because they are no longer able to properly care for them and would like them to have a better home. Furthermore, the shelter does a personality test on the dog when they come in. They figure out what kind of personality the dog has so that way they can match them up with the best family. The shelter provides adoption counseling to families to find them the best dog for them. They can tell whether the dog would be good with kids or not and things such of that nature. Adopting dogs also helps to prevent puppy mills from thriving. Most times when you go to the pet store, the chances are that the dogs there came from a puppy mill where dogs are treated poorly and kept in small confined spaces and often have health problems. You drive hours away to get a dog from a breeder when you can go to your local animal shelter and rescue a dog. Even if someone is not fully sure they are ready to take on the care of a dog full time, they could foster a dog. Being a foster parent for a dog is a wonderful thing. It allows the shelter time to find the dog a permanent home while someone cares for the dog in their home, leaving room in the shelter for more dogs to be able to come in. Fostering is an all-around good solution because it has many benefits. Even if someone fosters a dog but doesn't end up keeping it, like I said, this still gives the shelter time to find the dog a permanent, loving home. Overall, these people fostering dogs is a huge help to the shelter. And in turn, it leaves more room for other animals to come into the shelter. More people also need to be advocate for the adoption of dogs. If someone knows that somebody else is interested in getting a dog, they should suggest local shelters that someone could go to look at the dogs and try to adopt. There is so much someone could do to advocate for the local animal shelters in this area. If more people start adopting dogs, there will be more room in the shelter so that once dogs and other animals do come in, they have more than just 3 days to stay without the fear of being put down. Adopting a dog also gives that dog a second chance at life. Like I said, most of the dogs who were dropped off weren't abused, but some of them are, and are looking for a loving family that will give them a happy, normal life. When someone is adopting a dog, they don't realize how much money they could be saving. Most times when someone adopts a dog, they spend little to no money at all. Also, the shelter does neutering free of charge before they give the dog to a permanent home. Most people don't realize that when you get a dog from a breeder, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine saving all that money by just going to the local animal shelter and adopting a dog. And the neutering fee alone is also a couple thousands of dollars. So imagine saving a few $1,000s just by helping out the local animal shelter and adopting a dog. Most people also don't realize that a lot of the dogs at the shelter are a little bit older, so they're not puppies and don't really need to be trained. Most of the dogs are house trained and know tricks and skills that would take a lot of time for the family to teach them. I mean, how awesome would it feel to go to a shelter and help save a dog's life? People don't realize that by adopting a dog, they're giving back to the community. They're helping taking stray dogs off the streets and finding them a permanent loving home. What I need from all the audience watching is to go adopt a dog if you're really interested in getting one for you or your family. Foster a dog if you're unsure. Maybe you want to get another dog and you don't know how it would work out. Foster one just to see if it's for you. Like I said, fostering dogs always leaves time for the shelter to find a dog a permanent home and more space for other dogs to come in. Convince your friends to be foster parents for dogs. It's a huge benefit to the shelter. Also, convince other people to adopt dogs. Convince your friends and family members to donate to the local shelters or even volunteer their time. Share Facebook articles about dogs in need of a home. If you volunteer your time with a shelter, you may just even find a dog that you want to bring home yourself. Just by doing one of these things, you're making a huge difference in helping save 670,000 dogs' lives per year.